Hey y'all, it's St. Pam, and today I'm going to be talking about World of Warcraft, or rather, what I see as the problem with it. Um, as you can see by the title, that's pretty much what I'm talking about. Now, I know not everyone's going to agree, not everyone's going to see things the same, and some people will, um, but just hear me out. I don't think that WoW is dying. I don't think it's dead. That is an amazing shot, though. And yes, I'm about to take a screenshot because that is amazing. So, I like it. Hopefully that actually took. Am I supposed to talk to him? Who am I supposed to talk to? Oh, I know what I'm supposed to do. Never mind. I hadn't done anything with the Draenei before, so pardon me. But yes, as I was saying, I'm not saying that WoW is going to die. I'm not saying it's dead. I'm not saying it's on its way out. I'm just saying that it has problems, which I think everyone can agree with. And these problems might one day lead to its death. Um, so, yeah, let's get started. Now, many of you know I've played WoW off and on since it was released. As you can see right now, I'm playing it. I've recently canceled my sub, but may or may not continue it. I don't know. Um, it depends on if I can get hooked into it again. But I've enjoyed it a great deal over the years, and I still do from time to time. Uh, I've PvP'd. I actually got the sergeant title back in Vanilla WoW before they took the titles away for a while from PvP. Neat. I have raided, I've run guilds, I've been in several guilds. There's quite a bit of nostalgia with this game for me. I don't know what the name of her. I guess it's a Alec. Maybe. I don't even remember getting that. Um, and I know I'm getting sidetracked periodically. Like I said, I hadn't done anything with the Lightborn Draenei, so I'm just messing around with it while I record this video. Now, regardless of how much fun I have had with the game, I've found my enjoyment of it fading. I'm finding I'm playing it less and less. I'm finding that my breaks from it are longer and longer. And I don't know. The new races aren't even grabbing me, so I don't know um, what I'm going to do as far as that goes. But I think I know why it's happening. And I think that it is due to stagnant gameplay. Very little has actually changed over the years. Sure, they've streamlined some things which, quite frankly, have dulled the overall experience. We don't have the talent trees any longer. We don't have restrictions to certain specs like we once did. Um, we're free to switch from one spec to another, and several of the classes actually play very similarly to one another. Um, they have their tanking spec and their healing spec and their DPS spec, um, and so on and so forth. And it's just, I don't know, it feels still. Now, I think that all of these are a symptom of a larger problem. There are things that I've grown accustomed to, things that no, I didn't particularly like and still irk me from time to time, but largely they're a symptom of an overall issue. And that is frankly the fact that no matter what changes they make to the back end, to the I don't know why I'm going this way. I should just fly. To the specs, to the way you spec, no matter what changes they make there, you still play essentially the same. You target an enemy, hit the same few buttons until it dies, rinse and repeat. Now, they had an interesting idea that went nowhere. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought at least it was interesting. Back in Wrath with the tournaments. Um, I really liked it. They had the jousting that you could do, and there was kind of like a airborne version of it for one quest line that gave you a vulture. Um, so yeah, there were some interesting things going on, but they kind of got away from that, and it's really still just the same type of gameplay, the same type of quests. Year after year, expansion after expansion. The combat is not dynamic and it largely relies on RNG. Some classes can heal, some can mitigate damage. You know, some are just straight DPS classes with a couple of neat tricks up their sleeves. But most of the time, you can get away with just doing DPS when you're out in the world by yourself. And again, after 14 years, it's kind of still. I think that ultimately we are coming to the end of an era with WoW. It has been a juggernaut. It has paved the way for a lot of MMOs. It has done some reworking of things that existed in previous MMOs that are more streamlined here and are better. Their quality of life improvements, which is fine. They've even had a few things that they've done that have been somewhat revolutionary for the MMO world. Like the flying, which they regret. They regret the flying, but it's amazing. And there's stuff that could be done with it that they've toyed with a little bit, but not a lot. So yeah, I think it's time that Blizzard decides what they're going to do. If they're going to do a WoW 2, or if they're going to come up with a new IP. Or even take a different IP that they already own and turn it into an MMO. I mean, I for one would not. Wow. Is that? Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out what I was seeing there. I don't think it would be out of. I'm trying to figure out how what I want to say here. I don't think it would be out of the question for them to take something like Diablo. I'm not saying it should be Diablo, but this is an example. I actually thought that Diablo would have been a good MMO previously. I don't know if that's the case any longer, but previously I thought it could have made a good MMO. But it wouldn't be out of the question for them to take something like Diablo and create a new IP and completely overhaul the way that they do their gameplay. To completely overhaul it so that it can be more dynamic, so that instead of just relying on RNG to say, oh yeah, your shield blocked that or you dodged that, to actually make it so you have to raise your shield or so you can strafe to the side and avoid a arrow being shot at you or a sword swing instead of just some specific attacks that you need to move out of the way of. I'm not saying that they don't have anything like that, but it's only very few very specific attacks that are heavily broadcasted. So I think that's going to require a WoW 2, or it's going to require a new IP, to be frank. I wouldn't mind a WoW 2 myself. Honestly, I have a lot of nostalgia for the game even now. I don't really want to quit. And I probably won't yet. And there's probably a lot of other players out there that are like this, where they want to play, but they also want something new. I highly doubt that I'm alone. Maybe I am. And I think that WoW will keep its subscriber count up for a long time. I think that it's not going to suffer for years and years to come. It'll be a while before people are finally tired of it and finally move on to something new. And you know what? I bet I have some heirloom stuff. Well, I'll just stick with this for now. It's not a bad game. It's not. It's just starting to age. There are some people that think that the plug should just be pulled on it, and I don't agree with that. A lot of people still like the game. A lot of people. I'm one of them. I think they need to make changes, but I still like it. I do. And it's a great source of revenue for them. I just think that they should take some of the revenue from this and start development on something else. With some of the more extravagant ideas they've had fully realized instead of being half-baked. With more dynamic gameplay, with more, honestly, more first-person shooter qualities to it, I think would be amazing. Give us those options, make it take a little more skill, and I think it would do well. For me, WoW is always going to hold some nostalgia, and I'd be lying if I said that I didn't think of it often, that I don't still play it often, that I don't still draw my characters from it from time to time. Heck, as I said earlier, I've recently canceled my subscription. I don't know if I'm going to actually leave it canceled or not at this point. I may restart it before it can really even lapse. I don't know. I just think that we are going to see it start a slow downward spiral. I doubt that it's ever going to actually die. It will likely be a game similar to EverQuest 1 where people still play it and they still make updates for it. I'm not saying that they shouldn't continue to develop for this for the hardcore players who are always going to be there for it, who are always going to play it. They just may need to change their business model a little bit as far as the original WoW goes. But I do think it's about time that they develop something else. And honestly, at this point, I'd be surprised if they're not working on something. And hey, maybe there's been a leak somewhere that I've missed. I am not the best at keeping up with the news as far as MMOs go. I should be much better at it than I am. I really should be. But I'm not great at it. So maybe there's been some hint at a new IP. Maybe there's been something out there where they're going to be developing another MMO, and maybe they've said it'll be another WoW 2, or maybe they've explicitly said that they're not going to do that. I don't know. If you guys have heard something, please put it in the comments below. I would love to know. I'll do a little looking into it myself. This is just something that I thought was kind of interesting that I wanted to share. It came from a conversation on my Twitch stream between me and a friend who also plays WoW, and they're feeling the age of the game lately. So I just kind of thought I would put my thoughts into a somewhat rambly video and see what everyone thinks. See what y'all think. See how much hate I do or don't get. Y'all, it's fine either way. I should turn on auto loop. I feel like if I turn it on, it should just be on for all of my characters, because I always forget for like ever to turn it on. But that's okay. It's just one of those things one of those options that you select, and it would be nice if it would carry over, but not a big deal. I'll turn it on. Eventually, I do think we'll get something updated. This game has actually held up amazingly well compared to games that were released around the same time. They've updated the artwork and they did a fantastic job with it. Honestly, the new models are great, but a company like Blizzard, I know, could do it even better. And I want to see that, and I think a lot of other people do too. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for now. Thank you all for listening. If you have any opinions on this, please let me know. I would love to hear what y'all think. If you think I'm out of my mind, if you think I'm just another WoW doomsday sayer, even though I've explicitly said that I don't think it's gonna die, you can leave that in the comments below. That's fine. I just want to hear what y'all think. Do y'all think I'm on the mark, or do you think I'm so far off the mark that I'm halfway across the planet? I don't know what I mean. But yeah, I would love to hear what you think about WoW's future. Anyway, that's really all I have, as I said before, so thank you all for listening. I hope you have a great day and a wonderful evening. Bye.